Scorpio, listen to me with your whole body for a moment, because what I'm about to say is not hype, not noise, not just another tarot soundbite on your feed. This is a direct energetic call-out to your soul. A money storm is forming around you, and the winds are already starting to circle your life. You didn't click this by accident. Out of all the videos you could have scrolled past, you stopped here. And that tiny pause is not random. Deep down you can feel it. Something in your reality is about to shift, not in a slow, polite way, but like a sudden change in weather when the air gets thick and electric right before the rain. The period around December 1st to December 7th is opening like a charged portal. A spiritual weather pattern with your name woven into it, and whether you fully believe it or not yet, your energy is already standing in the eye of that storm. This isn't punishment. This isn't chaos without meaning. This is a cleansing, a rearranging, a financial wind strong enough to pick up old beliefs, old stuck situations, old patterns of scarcity, and blow them out of your field so something new can finally land. Think about how long you have carried a story about money that never really felt like it belonged to you. Maybe you were taught that wealth means greed, that asking for more makes you selfish, that people like you have to work twice as hard for half as much. Maybe you've spent years in survival mode, counting every bill, feeling your stomach clench every time an unexpected expense appeared, praying for a break, and secretly wondering whether the universe saw you at all. You've watched other people celebrate wins while you try to smile with a lump in your throat, whispering, "When will it ever be my turn?" That ache, that quiet grief around money is real. It's not laziness. It's not lack of effort. You've hustled. You've tried. You've done the math at 2 a.m. and still felt short. But Scorpio, your poverty is not your identity. Your temporary lack is not your destiny. You are ruled by transformation, by death and rebirth, by the alchemy that turns what other people bury in the dark into the very fuel that lights the way forward. This coming energetic window is not just about adding numbers to your bank account. It's about rewriting the story you've been living inside for far too long. Around that deck 1 to 7 window, the energy around you becomes louder, more insistent. You might feel it as restlessness, vivid dreams, a sudden surge of ideas, an unexpected phone call, a message from someone you haven't heard from in a long time, or a coincidence that lands a little too perfectly to ignore. Money at its core is a form of energy, and energy moves where it is invited and allowed. This storm is not here to tear you down. It is here to loosen what's been stuck and bring movement where there has only been stagnation. Some opportunities may arrive quickly. A new client, a job lead, a chance to collaborate, a debt being repaid, a long overdue approval, a discount, a contract, an idea that finally feels profitable instead of just pretty. Others may appear as subtle shifts. You finally saying no to something that always drained you, you seeing a way to monetize a skill you've been giving away for free, you being noticed in a space where you used to feel invisible. The winds of change are rarely quiet at first. They stir things, they move dust, they make you aware of what's loose and what's anchored. And that's where your role comes in, Scorpio. This is not about sitting on the couch and waiting for a bag of money to fall through the ceiling. This is about understanding that the universe is co-creating with you, asking you to step into the center of this storm as a conscious participant, not a frightened bystander. You are not being told to panic, you're being told to prepare. To hold tight, not out of fear, but out of focus. Hold tight to your self-worth. Hold tight to your clarity. Hold tight to the vision of the life you want to live, not the one you've been forced to tolerate. When the financial winds pick up, they will amplify whatever is already in motion inside you. If you are grounded in self-doubt, they swirl panic. If you are rooted in self-trust, they carry opportunity. This week-long energetic pattern is like the universe turning up the volume on everything you've been whispering to yourself in private. So what have you been saying? I'm cursed, or I'm capable. nothing ever changes, or I'm ready for something different. The money storm around you is also a mirror storm. It shows you the beliefs that have quietly ruled your choices, the urge to overspend as soon as you receive, just to prove you finally can, the instinct to push opportunities away because they feel too big for you, the habit of saying I don't need much when in truth your soul is starving for stability, safety, and room to breathe. In these days, you're being invited to notice those patterns without shaming yourself for them. You didn't invent them. You inherited them from your family, from your culture, from old scars. But you, Scorpio, are the one chosen to break them. That's why your path has felt heavier at times. Where others can stay half asleep, your soul always calls you deeper. This week is not about you earning the right to have money. It's about you allowing yourself to no longer sabotage it when it comes. The storm is there to clear away the rubble of, I'm not enough, I'm bad with money, I always lose it anyway, and to make space for a new sentence, I can be trusted with more. During this time, notice the whispers, a random idea that drops into your mind and won't leave, a nudge to update your CV, launch a product, raise your prices, finally speak about your work, post that content, send that email, ask that question. These nudges are not just thoughts, they are invitations like small raindrops announcing a much bigger downpour. You don't need to act on everything at once, but honor at least one. Write the idea down. Take one small step toward it. Scorpio is not meant to chase in a frantic way. Scorpio is meant to move with precision, guided by intuition. Your intuition in this season is part of the storm, a wind at your back that says, turn left here, not right. Message this person. Don't ignore this. You might feel tempted to overanalyze, to wait until everything is clear, but clarity doesn't always arrive first. Sometimes it arrives halfway through the journey when you've already started walking. This money storm is not just about incoming flow, it's about how you hold it. Imagine this, a sudden increase in income, a bonus, a new stream of revenue, a viral moment that brings clients or sales. For some people, that wave crashes as fast as it rose because there was no container to catch it. You, Scorpio, are being prepared to be a container. That's why stewardship is part of this message. When money begins to move in your direction, your job is not to prove you deserve it by exhausting yourself or spending it all in a weekend to feel powerful for a moment. Your job is to meet it with clarity. Before deck one even arrives, take a moment to ask, if more money came into my life next week, where would I want it to go? What would I want it to heal? What would I want it to build? Maybe it's a debt that's been haunting you. Maybe it's a class that would sharpen your skills. Maybe it's a small safety fund. Maybe it's a gift to someone who once helped you when you had nothing. When you give money a purpose, it begins to feel less chaotic and more like a partner in your healing. Try this practice as the winds build. Decide in advance a small percentage that will be treated as sacred. It could be 5%, 10%, or whatever feels possible. The number is less important than the intention. When increase comes, whether a large amount or something very small, set that sacred portion aside deliberately. You might save it, invest it in your growth, or give it to a cause that aligns with your soul. Each time you do, you're saying to the universe, I'm not acting from fear anymore. I'm not trying to control everything. I trust that more can flow to me. That is how you stand in the center of a money storm without being knocked over. Not by clinging desperately, but by directing the flow. Money respects direction, it respects purpose. It respects someone who can say, this is where you go, instead of, I have no idea what to do with you, so I'll throw you at my wounds and hope it numbs something. Emotionally, you might feel waves. Excitement, fear, hope, and old grief rising like foam on top of the ocean. Let them come. If you suddenly feel like crying for no clear reason, it might be the part of you that never believed this could change, finally realizing that it might. If you feel guilt just imagining yourself wealthy, ask gently, Who taught me that being supported is wrong? If you feel anger at how hard it's been, let that anger be a fire that burns through old shame rather than a reason to give up. Scorpio, you have always been able to hold intense feelings. Now you're learning to hold intense blessings too. This storm does not ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be honest. Honest about what you want, what you fear, what you're willing to release. Honest about the fact that you're tired of pretending you're okay with crumbs. Spiritually, this period is also a recalibration of your relationship with trust. You have prayed, manifested, written lists, lit candles, listened to hours of readings, and there have been times where you wondered, is any of this actually doing anything? The money storm symbolism here is not a cosmic bribe. It is an answer to a deeper question. Am I seen? And the answer is yes. You are seen. You are remembered. You are not behind. You have not missed your one chance. What is forming around you is not just a financial weather pattern, but a reflection of years of inner work, years of choosing not to become bitter when bitterness would have been easier. That choice has not been invisible. The winds are beginning to turn in your favor. As this energy builds and the dates Deck 1-7 come and go, remember that time in the spiritual sense is not a strict calendar. It's a rhythm. Some of you will feel the impact exactly in that window. A payment, a contract, a clear opportunity. For others, this week acts as a trigger point, a starting bell that sets changes into motion that unfold over the following days and weeks. Don't panic if nothing huge seems to appear overnight. The storm can begin internally first. You finally breaking a pattern. You finally deciding never again to settling for exploitation. You finally choosing an aligned path over a safe, dead one. Sometimes the first sign of the money storm is not cash, but clarity. That clarity is precious. Guard it. And as we speak about storms and breakthroughs and wealth, it's important to breathe a gentle truth into this moment. What you're hearing now is a spiritual narrative, a symbolic map, not a financial guarantee or a contract written in stone. This message is a mirror for one possible timeline, a story woven from energy, intuition, and archetype, offered to your soul as a lens, not a law. It doesn't replace wise decisions, grounded planning, or professional advice about money, work, or investments. Instead, think of it as a thought experiment for your spirit, a way to explore what becomes possible when you stop agreeing with lack and start agreeing with your own potential. If this vision resonates with you, Scorpio, if it stirs something inside you that feels like recognition, take the parts that strengthen you, the parts that make you feel seen, the parts that call you higher. If it doesn't fit, let it pass like a cloud across a wide sky without fear, without force. Not every story is meant for every soul at every moment, and that's okay. You are always free to choose what you believe and how you act. Now, if your heart is beating a little faster, if your mind is already picturing what freedom could feel like, let's anchor this together. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, quietly affirm, I am ready for aligned abundance. I am ready for wise abundance. I am ready for a money storm that cleans, not destroys. In the comments, you can seal this energy by writing something like 88. I open my wallet. I open my heart. I welcome this storm of blessings. That act might seem small, but it's a declaration, a way of stepping from spectator into participant. When you like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel that hosts it. You're not just helping an algorithm. You're saying to the universe, I invest my attention in messages that expand me, not shrink me. That too is a form of wealth. What you choose to feed your mind and soul. Scorpio, as this money storm gathers around you, remember who you are at your core. The sign that survives, transforms, rises from ashes others would have stayed buried in. You are not just someone hoping for a miracle. You are someone who has become the kind of person a miracle can live with long term. You're learning to hold on to yourself as tightly as you once held on to fear. You are learning that it's safe for you to feel supported. You are learning that it's okay to imagine a life where your nervous system is not constantly bracing for the next disaster. The storm is not here to test you. It's here to reveal you, to show you how much stronger, wiser, and more prepared you are than you used to be. So hold tight, not in panic but in power. Secure your vision, steady your heart, prepare your hands. The winds of change are circling. The sky around your life is thick with potential. And as this next week opens, as that Deck 17 portal hums with energetic electricity, step forward like someone who knows, I may have walked through years of scarcity, but I am not scarcity. I am the stormwalker. I am the one who calls in the rain,